Okay, Mr. Chair, as soon as the clock rolls over to 9 o'clock, you have quorum and you can begin.
I'm watching it very closely. Thank you for your help.
I can still see people, so that's good. There we go.
Good morning. It's the appointed hour, 9 o'clock. Before I call the meeting officially to order, I've asked Mark Cranenberg, Director of Airports, to make some preliminary instructions. Mark, if you would please, sir.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, everyone. This is the video conference of today's Oklahoma City Airport Trust meeting, and I want to thank everyone for joining us for this video conference meeting. If the video conference is disconnected at any time during the meeting will be stopped and it'll be reconvened once we can restore the video connection. If communications are unable to be restored within 30 minutes, then the items for consideration that are remaining will be continued until later today at 3 p.m., again via video conference. The agenda and the documents are located on okc.gov, and anyone wishing to speak about an agenda item, public hearing, or to speak under citizens to be heard, we ask that they call area code 405-316-3202, or alternatively, you can text area 405-508-9278. We ask that you provide your name, phone number, the item number, and the reason that you'd like to comment. If you call in after your item has already been heard, you will still be allowed to speak under citizens to be heard at the end of the meeting, and speakers are only allowed 3 minutes to comment. I'll be asking all participants in this meeting, except the trustees, to keep their phones on mute until they are recognized to speak. Of course, trustees may ask questions or comment any time during the meeting. With that, Mr. Chairman, I believe I can turn it over to you, and I think we're ready to have a meeting.
Thank you, Mark. Let's call the meeting to order. And our first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the June 25th, 2020 Oklahoma City Airport Trust meeting.
So just a reminder, trustees, if you can't see your voting buttons, to hit escape on your keyboard.
We have a motion, a second, and the votes have been cast, and the item, thank you all. Next up is the director's report. Mr. Mark?
Yes, sir. As we all know, we're rounding third base here on about the fourth month that we've been involved with this pandemic. And from my perspective in the aviation industry especially, I think this is probably one of the most destructive events that's hit the travel industry that I can certainly remember. And I've talked before about this pandemic will probably cast a very long shadow on what probably looks like a 3 or 4 year recovery. I often talk about our boarding passenger numbers, and the last 2 years we've had great success, but because of the pandemic, we're still drastically down. Our June boarding passenger numbers were still down 73% from June of 2019. I will say that July is tracking a little better, but that's because we're in the height of the summer travel season. The travel that we're seeing right now is still predominantly leisure travel. Business travel has not started picking up at all. And after the travel season, I still see us probably going into a little bit of a lull. So we keep monitoring this as well as a lot of other barometers as to how we're doing. And I'll be reporting each month on the activity going forward, and hopefully things will start picking up. That's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any questions of Mark? Moving right along, next item on our agenda is the Will Rogers World Airport.
Item A is to approve the grant agreement with the Federal Aviation Administration for the offer of the grant for $9,206,407. This is for the Phase 3B, which is the last phase of our rehabilitation and repair of the terminal building upper level bridge deck. Item B is to approve and ratify the issuance of addendas number 1 and 2. This is for, again, the terminal building upper level deck structural repairs project 3B, and this is receiving the bids that were opened on April 29th and awarding the contract to Timberlake Construction Company in the amount of $9,032,644.31, approving the contract and bonds, and also approving change order number 1, which is a decrease, $739,278.46. Item C is approving change order number 1 to the contract with Shiloh Enterprises for the Aviation Records Building Site Improvement Project. It's a decrease of $43,405 and an increase of 88 days. Item D is approving change order number 1 to the contract with Libra Electric Company. This is for the airfield lighting emergency generator project, and it's an increase of $14,691.03. Item E is approving change order number 1 to the contract with Timberlake Construction. This is for the food court infrastructure repairs project. It's an increase of $21,998.67. Item F is approving change order number 2 to the contract with Alva Roofing Company. This is for the Hangar 9 West Side roof repairs project, an increase of 16 days. Item G, approve change order number 3 to the contract with Libra Electric Company for the Hangar 8 and 9 electrical repairs project. It's an increase of $39,451.25 and adding 65 calendar days. Item H, approve change order number 6 to the contract with Crossland Heavy Contractors to rehabilitate the Terminal Access Roadway Phase 1 project, an increase of 21 days. Excuse me. Item I is approve change order 16 to the contract with Timberlake Construction for the terminal expansion project to decrease of $79,159.63. Item J is approve amendment number 3 to the contract with Cowan Group Engineering. This is increasing their contract by $24,397. And last item K is adopt the resolution authorizing testing services for the terminal apron reconstruction project with Terracon Consultants in the estimated amount of $46,231.75. And that's all. Request approval, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mark. You've heard the request for approval. What are the desires of the trustees? And we have a motion and a second, and the item has passed. Thank you. Moving right along then, General, Mark.
Under General, item A is to receive the delinquent accounts receivable report, our construction project status report, and the budget to actual report as of June 30th. And then last item B is to approve a project manual for the electrical and street lighting maintenance and repairs contract, authorized bids to be opened on August 26th. Request approval.
You've heard the director's request for approval. And the item passes. Lease and other agreements.
Under leases and other agreements, Mr. Chairman, I just want to spend a minute on the first item A. This is an exciting lease that we've been able to negotiate. It's a lease and operations agreement with Marketing Llc. They are going to construct, operate, and maintain a retail convenience store with a restaurant and fueling islands on the airport. This is in Lariat Landing at the southeast corner of the airport. It will be at the corner of Interstate 44 and Southwest 104th Street. We've been working on this for several months. We're very excited that OnQ saw Lariat Landing and this location as an opportunity. As you all know, OnQ is very busy building stores all around the metro area, and we're very happy that they were agreeable to look at this location. and very happy for Lariat Landing. I think that this is not only a great opportunity for the Airport Trust and the airport, but I think it's also a great opportunity for OnQ to have a facility like this in Lariat Landing, which we are now ramping up our marketing efforts with our brokers for the commercial and industrial development as well as retail development. I want to thank a couple of the OnQ management folks and the team that my staff dealt with, Steve James, who's with OnQ Marketing, Katie Brown, their attorney. They worked very hard these last few months with my staff, in particular Assistant Director Scott Keith, my attorney Jamie Blocker, and it was full board these last few months to bring this to the finish line. So very much a flagship tenant now on the retail side, our first retail lease in Lariat Landing. So excited about that. So just want to make those preliminary comments, Mr. Chair. Thank you. I'll move on. Item B is approving the audit contract with Allen Gibbs and Hewlett LC to exercise their 4th annual renewal for their annual audit that they will be conducting for the Airport Trust and the Airport's Enterprise Fund. Item C is approved supplement number 1 to our contract with PFM Financial Advisors, LLC, for financial advisor services. This is exercising the first 1-year option to renew. Item D is approved supplement agreement number 5 to the lease and operations agreement with Atlantic Aviation Oklahoma City Incorporated. Item E is approving a lease agreement with Jeffrey, and I believe it's Quinia Spelagine, to lease a small amount of airport property at Wiley Post Airport. This is retroactive to June 1. Item F is to adopt a resolution authorizing negotiation with Parodies Lagardère at OKC LLC for our airport food service and retail concessions for package number 1, and approve the concession agreement and performance guarantee with Parodies Lagardère at OKC LLC for package number 2. And this package number 2 agreement will become effective on September 1, 2020. Item G is accept the use guarantee for PWAT hangar unit number 504 for Jayhawk Aviation, effective July 23rd. Item H is accept the assumption agreement and use guarantee for a PWAT hangar from Peachtree Properties to Peachtree Properties LLC, effective July 23rd. Also accepting the use guarantee for Damon Todd Barnsley. Item I is accepting the assumption agreement and use guarantee for PWAT hangar unit 1308 from Halpane Engineering Ltd. to Hunter Mechanical and Controls Incorporated, effective July 23rd. Item J is the assumption and agreement use guarantee for T-Hangar Unit 2003 from Oil Patch Properties LLC to Downing Aviation LLC, also effective July 23. Item K is approving 3 ground services agreements with various companies for ground transportation services at Will Rogers. And item L is approving a supplement agreement number 6 to the lease and operations agreement with AAR Aircraft Services at Will Rogers World Airport. Those are all the leases and other agreements, Mr. Chairman. Request approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. You've heard the request for approval. What is the desires of the trustees? And the item passes. Resolution.
Mr. Chairman, yes, sir, I'm sorry. I just request approval for the requisitions for item 7.
What is the desire of the trustees? And the item passes. Next on our agenda, comments from trustees. Any of the trustees like to make a comment?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make 2 comments. One is I think that OnQ is going to be a huge deal for Lariat Landing as well as Southwest Oklahoma City. Can't wait to see that thing, the construction get started on it. Secondly, I just want to commend all the other trust members today. This has been the smoothest PrimeGov meeting I've seen since we started this process. So great job, everybody.
Please wait till the meeting is over before you pass on those kudos.
Okay, let's try not to mess it up now.
Mr. Chairman, I was just hoping you'd go for the record at 7 minutes, but you've not been able to do that.
Thank you, sir.
I'll take the blame for that.
Hearing no other comments, any comments from staff? Again, seeing none or hearing none, are there any citizens who wish to be heard?
None have signed up, Chairman.
Thank you. None have signed up. Well, that brings us to the end of our agenda. We are adjourned. Thank you for your participation. Have a great day.
Thank you all.